It's Linda with Overbrook Quilt Connection. Today's block is block 23 in Moda's Stitch Pink. This block is called Fixer Upper, and it is a cute little log cabin. You're going to make 4 little 6.5-inch log cabin blocks that will then get combined into one big block. And if you've done log cabin before, it's going to be super simple for you. If you haven't done log cabin, it's still going to be super simple. It takes longer to plan it out what you're going to do than it does to actually do it. So the premise behind it is you start with a center square. In this case, it's 2.5 inches. And I chose a really light pink. Now, you can make these as coordinated as you want. You can make all 4 of the little log cabins the same. You can make them totally scrappy with every single fabric you have. You can do it however you'd like. But I decided that I was going to do 2 different coordinations of, if you will, and make 2 of one kind and 2 of another kind. So mine's kind of a coordinated scrappy, if you will. So each of the logs are sewn on in a clockwise formation, and I know I have trouble with what is the right direction for you guys because everything's backwards to me when I look at it on the camera. So when you start, you're going to have a 2.5 inch by 1.5 inch wide. All your logs are going to be 1.5 inches wide by the length of the next piece that you're going to put them on. So we start with that. You just sew it on, you press it away from the center. Okay, then the next log is 3.5 inches. And of course, you've got seam allowances that come off of here. So this log fits here. And you're going in a clockwise formation. So for me, this is clockwise. For you, it may be counterclockwise. I hope it's not, but you want to go in a clockwise formation. So then the next log that you put on is going to be the first of your colors. And again, it will fit once the seam allowances are taken off. It will fit. And the same is true for your next one. So after you've made a complete round, you're back to a square again. Okay, then we start over again with our, which one of these is longer? Oh, these are the same. So I need to swap one of these around. Okay, so the next one then will fit. We go back to background again, then another background, and let me adjust these so this fits. Okay, then we do another round, another log of pink, and then our last log of pink. At this point, this square should be 6.5 inches, and I've made one that is 6.5 inches. So that's how one completed log looks. Okay. So then I did another colorway, and I did it with a different light center. And then again, of course, our 2 background logs. Then I did pink number 1. And then another pink one. Then we go back to white again. Let me move this down again. Then we go back to white and white again, or whatever your background color is. Then we do another pink and our final pink. So then this is this colorway of the other colorway that I did. So then here's the finished version of that. And so then when you get these made, they are going to become a big 4 patch. And so really the only rule of thumb with log cabin, or the kind of a standing rule, if you will, of log cabin, is that the fabrics that are next to each other you should be able to distinguish a little bit of difference between them. And so keep in mind that fabric, the first pink that you use will be next to the third pink that you use, and the second pink that you use will be next to the fourth pink that you use. And then those two will be next to, you know, the other block, that 3 and 4 will be of the pinks will be next to the other 3 and 4s of the next block. So that really is the only, you just kind of want to be able to tell that there is a different fabric. You don't want it to look all identical. So let me finish up the other two log cabins that I had laid out here, and then I'll come back and show it to you when it's ready to be put into its 4-patch. I thought I would show you after the first round is done. So we're back to square again, and at this point it should be 4.5 inches square. And then we have one more complete round to put on. We'll start with our background again and do 2 backgrounds and then 2 more pinks. So I just thought I'd show you at the halfway point of one of the log cabins. So I'll be back when they're done. I have the 4 quadrants made now. And as you can see, there's 2 of each colorway. So I'm going to just sew them together in a 4-patch like so. And so then I will come back and show you the finished block. You know, I realized as I was getting ready to sit down at the sewing machine to sew these together that I ought to show you some other layouts, because there are multiple ways to do this. You could have all the lights in the middle. Besides doing that, you could do 2 lights and 2 darks. Make something like that. You could do the other way with the others. I mean, you can lay it out however you would like. It is your block and your quilt. So just keep that in mind and play with it if you want. Believe me, it took much longer to plan this quilt out than it did to sew this, or to plan this block out. It took longer than it did to plan. It took longer to plan out this block than it did to sew it. Oh my goodness, why was that so difficult to say? But it was. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. Again, I'm going to sit down at the sewing machine, sew this up, and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Here's our completed block. I think it turned out really pretty, and I think we were successful in getting some color variations between the different logs that make up the pink sides of the blocks. So anyhow, play around with this one as much as you'd like. Again, it's block 23, which is called Fixer Upper. We will see you back tomorrow for block 24. Thank you all very much.